I think people are seeking for some way to find a constant ground in an inconstant world. Mm-hmm. And so talk about that desire to find a ground in suffering.
I usually call is high-class suffering. Right. Because as I mentioned already, suffering is very all-pervasive, but very subtle, but it gives a lot of suffering. So what really lacking is how to connect with the basic well-being. I think I call is essence love. So there's a lot of wounded around the love, and the love and happiness are connected, and how we brought up in this modern society based on hope in fear, and we make fear as a running mission to achieve external happiness, which we can get 50%, but we are looking for 200% to fulfill the basic well-being. But I think really missing is the basic well-being. So that will not fulfilled by material. I think you have to have some different solution. His Holiness always talk about promoting human value. So I would talk about is the disconnected from your basic intrinsic well-being, which is the center of the emotion. I call is essence love. And I think Buddhist has a lot of methods it can offer to connect. And I think other traditions also. So I think His Holiness like to make a secular ethic that trying to bring into the modern world, especially into the modern education. So the cognitive-based education is very good in modern societies, but emotional development is a little bit weak. So I think I see a lot of suffering based on that issues.
The emotional development and cognitive development in some ways are really about the gross body and the gross suffering. So how does that connect to the subtle suffering and the subtle body?
I think the mind, or we can call knowing or thought, is triggered by fear, is in the body, and the mind start to looking for solutions, and that effects went back into the emotion, and emotion is moving again and again. It leaves imprint into the subtle body, and the subtle body also become a little bit distorted way. So then the situation triggers that imprint in the subtle body. Then it provokes emotion, and it speeds up the thinking again, sort of circling. And then at some point, you cannot stop thinking. The body or subtle body wants to stop, but the mind is keep thinking. So I think that is big suffering right now. So the feeling part of the body, emotions, or subtle body goes one direction. The mind's wish, want to rest, want to find happiness, goes another direction. But both some kind of looking solution from outside, rather than to drop and be with your body and to kind to your subtle body or gross body, whatever, and find there's some kind of well-being in the body, nurture that, make strength, and then this is a kind of base. Then you do whatever way is become very healthy. But this has become very vulnerable, like ready to shake. There's no food, there's no guts, there's no well-being. But you're longing for happiness, but it's all become condition. And we assume the condition, external condition, can fix everything, our well-being. I think it's not the case. Because I came from like Tibetan society, Nepali society, some extent Indian society. Their emotional development is quite okay. but cognitive development is lacking. But this part of the world, from young time, childhood, we push too much on cognitive-based education or cognitive development, organized, timing, everything is so good. But because of too much stress on that, it has impact on the nerve, physical body, subtle body, block the well-being inside.
Does it help to visualize the subtle body?
You can visualize, but more effective is to feel the subtle body rather than to think about subtle body. It's still in your head. Drop the thinking for a while and aware. I think in Vipassana system, they have a fantastic practice called mindfulness of body, mindfulness of feeling, and the mind, and Dharma. So I think we need that kind of awareness or mindfulness to the body and the subtle body.
Can you describe the practice?
I usually explain that in the mind, the thinking mind and the knowing mind and the aware or awareness part of the mind and the basic clarity part of the mind. So the people who've been a lot of stress and disturbed, too much thinking, I ask to drop the thinking. The way of dropping thinking is to drop into the body. You're not thinking about the body, you're just knowing the body. And with this element of aware of your body, within that, so many stuff comes. But whatever comes, you're just aware, but you're not suppressing, we are not indulging, we are not running away from it, and we are not bringing particular special method to tame those stuff, but the mind is there. Whatever body, sensation, emotional feeling, subtle body feeling, positive, negative, whatever comes into the from the body part of the feeling, the mind is just aware. And slowly, because we are not reacting towards to the cause. So this is the cause and this is the reaction. So the reactor is not reacting towards to the subtle body stress or gross body stress, but is there, aware, knowing, but not reacting. Because of that, we are not reinforcing the cause. Slowly it opens up. Once it opens up, then you bring some knowledge into it. It's called mindfulness of feeling. So only feeling can help feeling. At that stage, thinking might not help.
And then the next stage?
Next stage, so you might feel or aware the numbness part of the body. You still stay there without judging, and I call without judging is the kindness. Try not to fix or try not to improve something. Mind, awareness is just there as a big brother, but not trying to fix your problem, because the stress in the body is already wounded. So anything you do, it might not accept. But being there is important. And slowly open up. And numbness start to open up. Then this boiling underneath emotions might come up. The old memories or whatever, all feelings start to open up. Same thing. Not suppress, not reject, do not run away, don't bring special method to it. The emotion or whatever, it will open by itself. Then keep opening. Then one day, underneath, there is it's really the balanced feeling of subtle body, which is well-being. And that feeling is like it's okay. I call a feeling of okayness, without any reason, without any condition. Just feel okay. And that I call is our birthright, to feel that. And we had that when we are child. When we are young, we have that spark, a little bit humorous, free, okay, but slowly that is suppressed by hope and fear and covered it. So now we need to open again and reconnect with that. But in order to reconnect that, there's a lot of stuff we have to deal. The numbness, the boiling emotions, all this open up, then finally we'll meet our basic well-being. And then stay with that many years, many months, and it's called, my language I call essence love. And that is the foundation of all the feeling practices, like a loving kindness, compassion. Without that, I think loving kindness practice really makes sense. Makes sense in your head, but you will not feel it. Compassion, oh yeah, you make sense in your head, but you might not have a feeling about it, because you feel hollow. Without that, you feel hollow. And trying to fulfill that hollowness, trying to put something into hollowness, then you grab an object. The more you grab an object, the cover becomes thicker. So you open up. Just wait. Drop the thinking. The short one is just drop the thinking. Aware, whatever comes in. We are not choosing any particularly feeling. Any feeling comes. Aware. Let it do whatever it needs to do. And slowly it open up. One more open up. One more open up. Then you find basic well-being. And stay with that. Then we train thinking. And thinking, I think, is quite good at that time, because it's not influenced by stress in the body. So thinking can think accurately. Then for measurable, all the Buddhist teaching, you contemplate. And while you're contemplating, the feeling will come with it, because there's no disconnected. Before there's a disconnected, even you think, you might not feel. So I saw this is problematic in the West or in the high developed countries. And in Tibet, because we don't stress so much on education based on cognitive, so emotion is quite okay. But then when you train into the four measurable visualization, feeling comes along with it, because there's no cutoff. The more you train here, it will come up. There's no blockage so much.
So how does the reified I relate to either well-being or lack of well-being?
Reified I is like we learn from childhood. This is a glass. This is a spoon. This is your deity. This is your mother. Sunday, Monday, our world. So we sort of taught like a solid way, this and that and this, and slowly we sort of learn that pattern. And we start to see everything is a solid. But everything is not a solid. There's a lot of fluidity within that. There's a lot of movement. But we are not really teaching that. We're scared that if we teach like not solid stuff, and we thought our child will not take seriously on their education or their life. So we taught so serious things. Slowly that went into our system. And then when we look into good things, also we reified. If we look in, when we experience negative things, also we hold very tightly like a rock. So because of that reification, somehow frozen all our basic well-being. So we become a numb. And when we have some emotional problem, we hold on that, and we're trying to fix that, by reification method. So everything become like locked in. So we need a humor. That's why I think Buddhist method of practicing or studying the analytical meditation. So analyze everything, whether it's how you perceive this way, is this really like that? And we ask question about the reality of the object itself and the subject, which is perceiver of the object. Is there any reification, any true, solid there? No. But we know here. But how to communicate this into our whole system? That is, I think that is, I see is the most challenging. To educate cognitive understanding is challenging, but it's okay. But how we're going to send the message to our numbness in the body, blockage in our heart, restlessness in our system? How are we going to transform them? Because there is no line is sort of blocked. It works here. It does not work down here. So that's why I'm really working hard. The cognitive understanding, trying to transmit into the whole body system. That the whole body and mind start to appreciate of Dharma or insight, whatever. Then I think life is much easier. Until that, there is a gap. I know it, but you're still doing the same thing.
So the essence love then is very fluid. It is open and does not have the tightness of the reified eye.
No. We call this mere eye. There's eye to, I call this functional eye or useful eye. Not overly reified. If you hold overly, it's useless. You just hold the right amount or whatever you want to hold. If you hold tissue, you don't hold too tight. If you hold too loose, it will drop. But there's the right amount. It's a healthy eye. I think we need that. But we are not holding, we holding more than we need. And that's why the whole system becomes tight and numb. So that you know the balance. I cannot tell you how much you're holding. Of course, we can see the eyes, the behavior, how the person is restlessness, whatever. But I think you have to. The person who experienced that kind of thing need to experience. Oh yeah, this is the right amount. Okay, this is the right speed limit. Internal speed limit. Okay, this is the right speed limit. This is the right series. I'm holding too serious, so I reduce the seriousness, connect with the essence love, bring some kind of humor and serious. Not serious with hollow. Seriousness with some kind of humor and playful. And that's why I call simple inside, complex outside. So there's a dance between simplicity and the complexion.
Thank you, Rinpoche. That's beautiful.
Thank you. I'm very happy. I really like to come Garrison again and again. Feel very like home.